Can you feel it? That sickening twist in your gut when someone sizes you up and decides you don't belong? For Jalan King, a 16-year-old black teenager strolling through the pristine streets of Oak Ridge Heights, that feeling was as familiar as the beat of his favorite song. But on this scorching afternoon, with the clock on Officer Bradley Grayson's dashboard ticking past 3:47 p.m., that twist turned into a full-blown storm. Grayson, a washed-up ex-military wannabe with a chip on his shoulder, spotted Jalan walking alone in this lily-white neighborhood and saw nothing but trouble. Oh, how wrong he was. The stop that followed wasn't just textbook harassment, it was the spark that would ignite a firestorm, one that would shake this smug suburb to its core. Grayson's mocking laughter at Jalan's truth, that his father was a Special Forces legend, wasn't just a mistake. No, it was his first catastrophic blunder, one he'd regret when the black SUVs started circling and the man he ridiculed came home to set things right. The sun blazed down on Jalan's shoulders as he trudged the familiar path home from school, his headphones blasting music that wrapped him in a protective bubble. At 16, he perfected the art of moving like a shadow through Oak Ridge Heights, seen but unseen, or so he hoped. In this predominantly white suburb where the King family had carved out a life for a decade, being invisible was a survival skill. But oh, how impossible that was sometimes. As he passed Mrs. Whitaker's house, her curtains twitched. Did they ever not twitch? That old woman tracked him like a hawk, her pristine garden a silent accusation. Jalan kept his eyes forward, pretending he didn't notice, his father's voice echoing in his head, "Keep your head up, son, but your guard higher. Some folks'll always see you before they see who you are." Wise words, Dad, why do they sting so much today? Next came the corner store, where Mr. Peterson's beady eyes locked onto him through the window, sharp with suspicion. Jalan had bought snacks there 100 times after basketball practice, same old chips, same old soda. Yet, that man watched him like he'd swipe the whole shelf if given half a chance. Really, Mr. Peterson? Jalan cranked his music louder, drowning out the weight of that stare. Just keep walking, man, don't let it get to you. He was halfway home, lost in his rhythm, when a police cruiser slithered alongside him, matching his pace like a predator stalking prey. Oh no, not this. His stomach knotted tight. He'd seen this play out before, but with older guys, not high school sophomores heading home on a Tuesday. Why me? Why now? The window rolled down, and Officer Bradley Grayson's stern face glared out. Jalan didn't know his name yet, but that smug scowl? It screamed trouble. Hey you! Hold up a minute. Grayson barked. Jalan yanked off his headphones, his father's voice booming in his mind, "If they stop you, be polite. Be calm. Don't give 'em reasons." "Yes, sir," Jalan said, his voice steady despite the fear clawing up his throat. Grayson, at 32, strutted with the cocky swagger of someone itching to prove he was tougher than his failed military stint suggested. His buzzed hair and rigid stance screamed, "I'm in charge." But oh, how little he knew about the boy he was messing with. "What are you doing in this neighborhood?" Grayson snapped, his eyes raking Jalan from head to toe like he was already guilty of something. "I live here, sir. Just walking home from school." Jalan answered, keeping his tone even. "ID?" Grayson demanded. Jalan paused. "ID? Really? I'm 16, sir. I don't have a driver's license yet, just my school ID." He gestured toward his backpack, slow and careful. "Keep your hands where I can see 'em." Grayson barked, his hand twitching toward his holster. "Oh, come on." Jalan froze, hands raised, heart pounding like a drum. "My school ID's in my backpack, sir," he said, his voice tight but controlled. Grayson climbed out of the cruiser, circling Jalan like a shark sniffing blood. A few neighbors slowed their cars, rubbernecking. What's this spectacle? Others peeked from windows, drawn to the drama of the new cop grilling the black kid. "What's in the bag?" "Empty it out," Grayson ordered. "Just books and school stuff," Jalan replied, setting his backpack down and unzipping it with deliberate care. As he pulled out textbooks, notebooks, a water bottle and his basketball shoes, "Nothing shady here." Grayson's face twisted from cautious to outright contemptuous. "No drugs? No weapons? Just a kid's school gear?" Booering. But instead of backing off, Grayson doubled down, his ego bruised by Jalan's calm. "Where do you live exactly?" he pressed. "Cedar Street, sir, number 1742, 3 blocks that way." Jalan answered, pointing. "Parents' home." Grayson shot back, his tone shifting to something almost chatty, but with a nasty edge that made Jalen's skin crawl. My mom'll be home from work soon. And your dad? Where's he at? The question dripped with mockery, like Grayson was fishing for a punchline. He's away for work, Jalen said, keeping it short. What kind of work keeps a man away from his family? Grayson sneered, leaning closer, his voice loud enough for the nosy onlookers to hear. You kids never seem to have a man at home, huh? Ouch. The jab hit like a slap, and Jalen felt heat flood his face, but he locked his expression down tight. Don't let him see you flinch. My dad's in Special Forces, he said quietly, the truth plain and unadorned, no need for bravado. Grayson's face split into a grin, and then boom! He erupted into laughter, the sound bouncing off the quiet suburban street like a cruel taunt. Special Forces? He hooted, loud enough to turn heads. Your daddy's G.I. Joe, huh? That's a good one, kid. Jalen stood silent, his face a mask hiding the anger and humiliation churning inside. Why's this guy gotta make a show of it? Hey, Miller. Grayson called to another cop rolling up in a second cruiser. This kid says his daddy's in Special Forces. Maybe he rolls with Chuck Norris. Officer Miller gave a weak chuckle, glancing at the growing crowd. Awkward much. But Grayson ate it up, basking in his little power trip. What neither officer noticed was a girl across the street, half hidden behind a tree, her phone steady in her hands. Maya Thompson, Jalen's classmate, was recording every second, her heart pounding. Should I stop? No, keep going. Something told her this video might matter big time. Listen, G.I. Joe Jr., Grayson sneered, stepping closer to Jalen. Next time you want to spin tales, pick something believable. I was in the military. I know what real soldiers look like. Oh really, Grayson? You washed out before you saw a single mission, and you're schooling me? Jalen stayed mute, his eyes steady but not defiant. He knew better than to poke a bear with a badge, especially one itching for a fight. Get your stuff and move along, Grayson finally said, boredom creeping into his voice when Jalen didn't crack. And stay out of trouble. Jalen repacked his bag with slow, deliberate care, every move screaming, I'm not scared of you. He slipped his headphones back on but didn't hit play. Gotta stay sharp. As he walked off, Grayson's voice trailed him, muttering to Miller, Special Forces my ass. Bet Dad Special Forces of the couch. Probably never even met the kid. Jalen's steps stayed measured, his back straight. Don't look back, don't give him the win. But inside? Oh, that cut deep, slicing through years of pride in his dad, Isaiah King, a man who taught him to stand tall against injustice with quiet strength. Grayson climbed back into his cruiser, but something nagged at him. Jalen's calm, unshaken confidence had gotten under his skin. Why didn't that kid flinch? Hey Miller, he called, you know anything about a Special Forces guy living here? Miller shrugged, already bored. Nah, haven't heard of one. Why you buying the kid's story? Grayson's eyes narrowed. Nah, but I'm gonna check. Just curious, he said. Find out who his dad really is, yeah? Miller nodded half-heartedly, clearly not planning to waste his day on Grayson's petty grudge. But Grayson? Oh, he wasn't letting it go. That kid's cool-headed dignity bugged him, and he'd dig until he found dirt, or made some. Maya Thompson, meanwhile, slipped her phone into her pocket, her heart racing. Did I just catch something huge? She hurried off, the video safe, unsure what to do with it, but knowing it could change everything. Jalen reached 1742 Cedar Street, the front door clicking shut behind him, and for a moment, he stood still in the entryway, letting the familiar scent of home, lemon polish, jasmine candles, last night's lasagna, wash over him. Unlike the flashy mansions of Oak Ridge Heights, the King house was modest but loved, every corner a testament to Angela King's care. She kept it spotless despite her long hours as a hospital administrator. How does she do it? The living room walls held family photos, Angela and Jalen at his middle school graduation, a toddler Jalen giggling in the backyard, the three of them at the beach, squinting into the sun 5 years back. But no shots of Isaiah in uniform, nothing to hint at his Special Forces life. That was no accident. Jalen grabbed an apple from the kitchen, the crisp bite echoing in the quiet house as Grayson's mocking laughter replayed in his head. Special Forces? That's rich. A memory flickered, 8-year-old Jalen in the backyard, cross-legged, as Isaiah taught him knots. Why do I need this, Dad? We don't camp much, he'd whined. Isaiah's smile had been warm but serious. These are skills, son. Some you show off, like your jump shot. Others you keep close till they're needed.
Staying invisible when it counts, that is your greatest edge.
Back then, Jalan didn't get it. Skills for what? Now at 16 it was starting to click, but oh, how it hurt to need them today. Keys jangled at the front door, snapping him back. Angela King swept in, her business suit sharp despite a grueling day. "Hey baby," she called, setting down her purse, always so put together. "How was school?" "Fine," Jalan said, the lie slipping out easy. Angela's mom radar pinged. "She's not buying it. Homework. Calculus and a history paper." She nodded, but her eyes lingered, searching his face. "Something happened today, didn't it?" Not a question, a fact. Jalan thought about dodging, but nah, she'd see right through him. "Got stopped by a cop on the way home," he admitted. Angela went rigid, her warmth morphing into fierce concern. "What happened? What did he want?" "Nothing, just checked my backpack, asked where I was going." "Did he give a reason?" "Nope." Her jaw tightened, classic mom, ready to fight. "Name or badge number?" "Grayson, I think. New guy." Angela filed it away, her mind already strategizing. "What else? I know there's more." Jalan sighed, can't hide from her. He asked about Dad. Angela's eyes narrowed, her posture stiffening like a coiled spring. "What did you say?" "Just that he's in special forces, nothing else." Her voice dropped, urgent. "Jalan, we've talked about this. You know not to." "I know, Mom," he cut in, frustration spilling over. But he was saying crap, like how kids like me never have dads around. I couldn't let him think Dad ditched us. Angela's face softened but worry lingered. "Oh, she gets it, but it's risky." "All right," she said, her tone gentler. "But we gotta be careful. Your dad's work, it's not something we broadcast." Jalan nodded, the weight of it all pressing down. Why's it always gotta be like this? 3 days later, the game shifted. Oh, did it ever? Security cameras caught black SUVs prowling Oak Ridge Heights, their tinted windows hiding who knows what. Grayson, still itching to prove Jalan was a liar, started digging into classified files on Isaiah King. Big mistake. All he got were redacted warnings and locked-out screens that screamed back off. His smug grin faded fast. What's this kid's dad hiding? Little did he know, the real storm was brewing. Isaiah King was coming home, and this sleepy suburb was about to get a wake-up call it'd never forget. Can you imagine the shock when the truth hits? Isaiah's return wasn't just a homecoming, it was a reckoning. Jalan had faced Grayson's taunts with the dignity his dad drilled into him, but now? Oh, now it was time for the world to see who Isaiah really was. Not some deadbeat, not a couch warrior, but a special forces legend who'd faced dangers Grayson couldn't dream of. When Isaiah rolled into Oak Ridge Heights, the air crackled. Those SUVs weren't random, they were his team, circling like wolves. Grayson's petty harassment? It was about to backfire spectacularly. The officer's mocking laughter would turn to stunned silence when he realized the G.I. Joe he scoffed at was a national hero with secrets that could topple empires. The neighborhood buzzed, whispers spreading like wildfire. "Did you hear about the King kid's dad?" Maya's video, now circulating online, had lit the fuse, exposing Grayson's cruelty to the world. Neighbors who'd once twitched curtains or stared suspiciously now squirmed, their biases laid bare. Mrs. Whitaker's garden felt a little less pristine, Mr. Peterson's shop a little less righteous. And Grayson? Oh, he was sweating bullets, his badge no shield against the truth crashing down. When Isaiah confronted him, calm, lethal, unstoppable, the officer's bravado crumbled like cheap plaster. Can you picture that moment? The man who'd laughed at a kid's pride now faced a father whose quiet strength was a force of nature. Jalan watched it all, his heart pounding with a wild mix of vindication and awe. His dad wasn't just a hero in stories, he was real here, standing tall for him. The pain of Grayson's taunts, the weight of those suspicious stares, it all melted away in the face of Isaiah's fierce love. Oak Ridge Heights would never be the same. How could it? The Kings had shown them what strength looked like, what truth could do. And Malik? He walked taller, his shadow no longer a burden but a badge of pride. Can you feel the power in that? A boy, once unseen, now undeniable, thanks to a father who taught him to stand firm and a truth that shattered every lie. This story isn't just about a kid and his dad, it's about us. How often do we judge too quick, see a shadow and miss the soul? Jalen's fight, Isaiah's fire, they challenge us to look deeper, to question the stories we tell ourselves about others. If this tale of triumph and truth hit you hard, smash that like button and subscribe for more stories that shake the world awake. Drop a comment. Where are you watching from, and what's a time you proved someone wrong? Let's keep this fire burning. Thank you for joining us, and here's to living bold, standing tall, and never letting lies define you, starting now. Can you feel it? That icy prickle crawling up your spine when you know you're being watched, judged, dismissed before you even open your mouth? For Jalen King, a 16-year-old black teenager trudging through the manicured streets of Oak Ridge Heights, that feeling was a constant companion, as familiar as the rhythm of his heartbeat. But tonight, in the quiet warmth of his kitchen, that prickle turned into a full-blown ache as he stood wrapped in his mother's arms, her hug a lifeline he didn't pull away from. How could he, after the day he'd had? Angela King's voice was low, fierce, like a shield against the world. "Listen to me, baby," she said, her words heavy with urgency. "Your father's work isn't something we share with strangers, especially not cops. It's not just privacy, Jalen. It's about our safety. Your safety. Your father's safety." Oh, the weight of those words. Jalen's throat tightened. Did I mess up big time? "I know, Mom," he mumbled, guilt gnawing at him.
I'm sorry.
"It's okay," she soothed, her grip softening but not letting go. "Just be careful, all right? If this Officer Grayson asks again, you say your dad's in government consulting, nothing more, got it?" Jalen nodded, but the question swirling in his head. Why the cover story? If Dad's work is legit, why all the secrecy? Little did he know his simple truth, my dad's in Special Forces, had just lit a fuse that would blow this sleepy suburb sky high. As Angela held her son, her heart pounded with a mother's fierce love, but her mind raced with worry. Why now, after all these years? Later that night, Jalen hunched over his history paper, the glow of his desk lamp casting shadows across his room. His phone buzzed, jolting him. Maya Thompson? They weren't tight, just shared a few classes, but her text hit like a bolt. Need to talk tomorrow about what happened after school. What the heck? How'd she know about Grayson? Jalen's fingers hovered over the screen. Should I ask? Before tapping a quick OK and setting the phone down. Unease settled over him like a thick fog, heavy and disorienting. What's Maya got to do with this? He tried to focus on his paper, but Grayson's mocking laughter, Special Forces? That's rich kid, kept looping in his head, each replay a fresh stab of humiliation. Can you imagine carrying that kind of hurt at 16? The next morning, Jalen dragged himself to Oak Ridge High, his sneakers scuffing the polished halls. Before first period, Maya found him near the band room, a quiet corner where the usual teenage chaos didn't reach. Smart move. "I saw what happened yesterday," she blurted, no preamble, her eyes fierce behind her glasses. "With that cop." Jalen's face stayed cool, but his heart skipped. How many people know? "So?" he said, playing it chill. "It was messed up, Jalen. The way he talked to you, like you were nothing." Maya hesitated, then dropped the bomb. "I recorded some of it." "What?" Jalen's eyes widened, the only crack in his calm. "Why'd you do that?" "Because it wasn't right," she fired back, pushing her glasses up her nose with a defiant flick. "My dad's a civil rights attorney, he says always document." "Oh snap, Maya's got game." Jalen nodded, processing this curveball. "Recorded? For real? What are you gonna do with it?" he asked, his voice low, wary. "Nothing unless you say so," she replied, firm but kind. Then her voice softened, curious. "But was it true about your dad?" The question hung there, heavy as a storm cloud. Jalen could have dodged, lied, changed the subject, easy outs. But something in Maya's steady gaze made him pause. "Yes," he said simply, the truth bare and unadorned. Maya studied him, then nodded. "Respect. Cool. Just wanted to know." The warning bell rang, splitting them apart, but as Jalen headed to class, Maya's question lingered like a weight on his chest. Was it true about his dad? Yes, but what does that even mean? Even Jalen didn't know the full story. By lunchtime, the school was buzzing. Word spreads fast at Oak Ridge High. Somehow, the whole place knew about Jalen's run-in with Officer Grayson. Can you believe how gossip flies? As Jalen sat alone at his usual table, munching his sandwich, Tyler Wilson and his posse swaggered over, ready to stir the pot. "Yo, King!" Tyler hollered, loud enough to turn heads. "Heard you told Grayson your dad's, like Rambo or some crap." Jalen didn't look up, just kept eating. "Don't give him the satisfaction. My dad says your dad works at Burger Force, not Special Forces." Tyler sneered, his buddies snickering like it was the roast of the century. "Oh please Tyler, get a life." Jalen stayed cool, his voice slicing through their laughter. "Your dad talks about my family at dinner? That's weird." Tyler's face turned beet red busted, and his crew's giggles faltered. Jalen finally looked up, his dark eyes locking onto Tyler's, steady and unflinching. No words, just that gaze. Oh, it spoke volumes. Tyler squirmed, his bravado crumbling. "Whatever, man," he muttered, retreating with his pack. "Everyone knows you're lying. Your dad probably split years ago." Ouch, that stung, but Jalen didn't flinch. "Can you feel the strength it took to stay calm?" Maya slid into the seat across from him, her tray clattering down. "Ignore those jerks," she said, her voice fierce. "Tyler's dad's that real estate guy who got busted for racist posts online last year. Total hypocrite." Jalen's lips twitched, almost a smile. "You know a lot about everyone's parents, huh?" "My mom works at the courthouse. I hear stuff."
Maya shrugged, emphased.
They ate in easy silence for a bit, the cafeteria's chaos a dull roar around them. Then Maya leaned in, her voice dropping. "So, Special Forces, that's pretty intense, right?" Jalen's guard went up. "Here we go again." "I don't want to talk about it," he said quietly, shutting it down. Maya nodded, no pushback, respect.
Faire neuf.
"But if that cop keeps messing with you, tell me, my dad's an attorney, you know." Jalen gave a small nod, "Thanks, Maya," but his mind was already elsewhere, replaying Grayson's sneer, Tyler's taunts, and that foggy unease from Maya's text. Why's everyone so obsessed with my dad? Across town, Officer Bradley Grayson was kicking off his shift with a new obsession, Jalen King. Last night, he'd scoured social media for dirt on the King family, but hit a wall. Angela's Facebook was locked down, just a few posts about hospital fundraisers, no pics of her husband. Suspicious much? Jalen? Zero online presence. What teen skips social media? Weird. Grayson's gut screamed there was something to uncover, and he wasn't letting it go. He cruised Cedar Street, his cruiser crawling past the King house, number 1742, quiet, ordinary, nothing flashy.
Noé a spécial force au chaud laivzir.
He parked a block away and spotted an elderly woman tending her garden. Perfect target. "Good morning, ma'am," he called, flashing his best charm school smile. "Officer Grayson, just checking in on the neighborhood. Been here long?"
Tirtilleurs.
Martha Jenkins said proudly, wiping dirt from her hands. "So you know the Kings at 1742? Grayson pressed, casual but fishing. "Angela's a sweetheart, works at the hospital." Martha said warmly. "Jalen's a good kid, always shoveling my walk in winter." "And Isaiah, the dad?" Grayson leaned in, hungry for a crumb. Martha's face turned thoughtful. "He's away a lot military, I think, but Angela keeps it hush-hush. Private folks. Nice guy though, fixed my porch steps last spring." Grayson nodded, filing it away. "Military, huh?"
Vague.
"Any idea what he does in the military?" "Not a clue." Martha shook her head. "They don't talk much about it." "Thanks, ma'am." Grayson said, his mind churning. "Private, huh? Too private." All day he poked around, hitting up neighbors, but the story stayed the same. Nobody knew much about Isaiah King. "He's gone a lot, military something, nice when he's around, blah blah blah." By evening, Grayson was back on Cedar Street, parked in his cruiser, eyes glued to the King house. Lights glowed in the kitchen, Angela bustling about, Jalen passing by, normal family stuff, right? But where's the dad? No sign of him. Grayson's radio crackled. "Unit 4, what's your 20? "Cedar Street," he replied, cool as ice. "Finishing patrol. Shift's almost done, head in for debrief." He started the engine but stole one last glance at the house. That kid Special Forces claim gnawed at him, far-fetched, but why's it bugging me so much? Can't shake it. That night, Angela's phone rang just after midnight, shattering the silence. Unknown number. Her heart skipped as she grabbed it, voice cautious. Hello. Nothing, no breathing, no noise, just a creepy void. Hello? She said again, firmer. Click, dead. Oh, that's not good. It was the third call like that this week, each one tightening the knot in her chest. She sat up, wide awake, checking her bedroom door, locked good. Then she reached for her secret phone, hidden in her nightstand, and fired off a text to a contact labeled I. Another call, same pattern. The reply pinged back instantly, noted. Protocol 7. Angela deleted the messages, stashed the phone, and lay back, but sleep was a lost cause. Her mind raced like a runaway train. 3 calls, Grayson's questions, Jalen's stop. Coincidence? No way. 16 years of guarding their secrets, and now this new cop was sniffing around. Why us? Why now? The next day, Grayson slumped at his desk in the police station, coffee in hand, scrolling through database records like a man possessed. Angela King's file was clean: hospital job, driver's license, taxes, all boring.
Jalen's school record?
Good grades, no trouble, yawn. But Isaiah King? Oh, that's where it got juicy. Marriage license, joint property with Angela, listed as Jalen's dad, check, check, check. But his job history? Vague as fog, government something, no details. Grayson tried pulling Isaiah's military file and bam! Hit a brick wall. Classified clearance required. What the hell, he muttered, staring at his screen like it had betrayed him. Problem? Sergeant Wallace asked, strolling by.
Grayson switched screens fast. Postet.
Nah, just researching, he lied, heart racing. Once Wallace was gone, he dove back in. Classified? Seriously? That could mean anything: contractor, analyst, spy stuff. But it didn't scream special forces. Still, it was enough to make Grayson sweat. He bragged to his buddies about the punk kid's fairy tale. Easy to debunk, right? Now? Oh, he wasn't so sure. That evening, Grayson rolled back to Cedar Street in his personal ride, a black Dodge Charger with tinted windows, all sneaky-like. He parked a block away, settling in to watch the King house like a hawk. It was past 11 p.m. when the lights finally winked out. Show's over, folks. He waited another hour, then slipped out, moving through the shadows with cocky confidence. Nobody's catching me. His plan? Simple: snoop around, peek in windows, see if Isaiah's even real. What he didn't know. Oh, he was being watched. 3 houses down, a figure in a darkened room tracked him through high-tech optics. Gotcha, Grayson. When he crept into the King's side yard, testing the back door, peering through windows, the figure lifted a secure phone and whispered, "As of midnight, activity at King residence. Local police, plain clothes, unauthorized surveillance, ID confirmed as Officer Bradley Grayson."
Appose, then, understood, monitor only.
The figure kept watching as Grayson slunk back to his car and peeled out. Only then did they send a final text: "They're sniffing around the King residence. Protocol escalation recommended." The reply was instant. Acknowledged.
Informing ghost.
Grayson drove home, smug about his little spy mission. Learned nothing, but I'm onto them. What he didn't realize. Oh, his snooping had just kicked a hornet's nest. His actions had pinged alarms in secure facilities where names like Isaiah King carried weight. Weight Grayson couldn't even fathom. Can you imagine the storm he'd unleashed? Dawn broke over Oak Ridge Heights, quiet as a graveyard, but the tension was thick enough to choke on. Grayson was back in his cruiser by 5 a.m., parked a block from the King house, running on fumes and obsession. No sleep, just coffee and a burning need to crack this mystery. The house stayed dark, curtains drawn, no movement, no life. What's your deal, Kings? But as the first rays of sun hit, Grayson had no clue the real game was already in motion. Isaiah King was coming, and this smug suburb was about to get a wake-up call it'd never forget. Isaiah's return wasn't just a dad coming home. It was a tidal wave of truth. Jalen had faced Grayson's cruelty with the quiet strength his dad had drilled into him. But now? Oh, now it was time for Oak Ridge Heights to see who Isaiah really was. Not a deadbeat, not a myth, but a special forces titan who'd stared down dangers Grayson could only dream of in his washed-out military fantasies. When Isaiah hit town, those black SUVs weren't just cruising, they were a signal, a warning. Grayson's petty harassment? It was about to blow up in his face like a grenade. Can you picture the moment his mocking laughter turned to stunned silence, realizing the G.I. Joe he'd scoffed at was a hero with secrets that could shake the world? Maya's video, now viral, had set the stage, Grayson's taunts exposed for all to see. Neighbors who twitched curtains or cast side-eye now squirmed, their biases laid bare. Mrs. Whitaker's garden didn't look so perfect anymore, did it? Mr. Peterson's store felt a little less righteous. And Grayson? Oh, he was drowning in regret, his badge no shield against the truth crashing down. When Isaiah faced him, calm, lethal, a force of nature, the officer's bravado melted like ice in a furnace. Can you feel that justice? The man who'd humiliated a kid now faced a father whose love was a fortress, unyielding and fierce. Jalon watched it unfold, his heart thumping with awe and vindication. My dad's here for me. Grayson's cruel jabs, Tyler's stupid taunts, the neighborhood's silent judgment, it all crumbled in the face of Isaiah's strength. Oak Ridge Heights was changed forever. How could it not be? The Kings had shown them what truth looked like, what love could do. Jalon stood taller, his shadow no longer a weight but a badge of pride. Can you imagine that power? A boy, once a target, now a beacon, thanks to a father who taught him to rise above and a truth that shattered every lie. This isn't just Jalon and Isaiah's story, it's ours. How often do we judge too fast, see a kid and miss a king? Their fight dares us to look deeper, to challenge the snap judgments we make every day. If Jalon's triumph lit a fire in you, smash that like button and subscribe for more stories that shake you awake. Drop a comment, where are you watching from, and when did you prove someone wrong? Let's keep this truth blazing. Thank you for joining us, and here's to standing tall, living fierce, and never letting lies define you, starting now. Can you feel it? That sickening knot in your chest when someone's out to crush you just because they can? For Jalon King, a 16-year-old black teenager in the two perfect streets of Oak Ridge Heights, that knot was tightening by the second. Officer Bradley Grayson, a man with a badge and a grudge, was hell-bent on proving Jalon's truth. My dad's in special forces was a lie. Oh, how wrong he was. As the clock on Grayson's dashboard ticked past shift's end at 3:47 p.m., he sat in his black Dodge Charger, off-duty but far from done. What he was planning wasn't just against procedure, it was a line-crossing obsession. Jalon's calm, unshaken claim about his father, Isaiah King, had burrowed under Grayson's skin like a splinter he couldn't ignore. Can you imagine the arrogance? A washed-up cop thinking he could unravel a Special Forces legend. As Angela King's car peeled out for her early hospital shift, and Jalon trudged off to school, headphones on, Grayson saw his chance, an empty house, a secret to crack. Oh, what a catastrophic mistake he was about to make. Grayson sank low in his seat, his heart pounding as Jalon passed by, oblivious to the predator watching. The King house at 1742 Cedar Street stood quiet now, perfect. He slunk around to the backyard, darting through neighbors' tree lines like a thief, his pulse racing, nobody's spotting me. The yard was modest but tidy, a small wooden shed tucked near the back fence. Grayson tried the door, locked. No biggie. He whipped out a pocket tool, smirking as the basic lock gave way in seconds with a soft creak. Inside, the shed was a model of order, garden tools hung neatly, a lawnmower squatted in the corner, shelves held paint cans and cleaning stuff. Boring.
Grayson es gut sank, no singir.
But wait, his eyes snagged on a glint behind some terracotta pots on the top shelf.
What is that?
Standing on tiptoes, he tugged down a dented metal box, old and heavy, secured with a padlock.
Jackpot.
He weighed his options. Bust it open?
Too risky if he get cooked.
Instead, he snapped photos from every angle, his fingers trembling with excitement. As he stretched to shove it back, the box slipped, oh crap, and the lid popped open. The padlock wasn't even locked. Can you believe his luck? Grayson's breath hitched. Should I look? Oh, he couldn't resist. Inside, a treasure trove, foreign coins jingling like secrets, a notebook crammed with cryptic shorthand, code maybe, and at the bottom, a faded photograph that stopped him cold. A younger Isaiah King stared out, decked in desert camo, flanked by three shadowy figures. Isaiah's face was half hidden in dusk, but those eyes, piercing, unyielding, burned right through the lens, making Grayson's skin crawl.
No badge, no flags, no clue where or when. Spooky.
He snapped photos fast, hands shaking, then stuffed everything back exactly as he'd found it, locking the shed and slipping away. Back in his Charger, he zoomed in on Isaiah's face on his phone, those eyes. Who the hell are you really, Isaiah King? He muttered, unease twisting his gut. Why's this guy staring at me like he knows I'm here? Grayson's smugness wavered. Had he just poked a bear he couldn't handle? That morning, Angela King stormed into the Oak Ridge Heights police station like a hurricane, her hospital ID swinging around her neck, her eyes blazing with a fury that could melt steel. Can you feel her rage? She slammed her phone on the front desk, her voice sharp as a blade. I need to file a complaint, now. Officer Jenkins blinked up, startled.
What is the problem, ma'am?
Someone broke into my shed this morning, and I've got it on camera. Angela thrust her phone forward, the screen showing Grayson picking the lock clear as day. And that someone's one of your officers. Jenkins's jaw dropped, busted. Ma'am, I'll get the sergeant, he stammered. Angela wasn't done. Oh no. It's Officer Bradley Grayson, the same creep who's been harassing my son and snooping around my neighbors asking about my family. Her words sliced through the station's hum, turning heads. Can you imagine the nerve of that guy?
Sergeant Wallace hustled out, drowned by the commotion. What is going on? Angela laid out, replaying the footage, Grayson, cocked red and dead. Wallace's face darkened, troubles brewing.
Mrs. King, we take this seriously. Please come to my office for a formal statement. An hour later, Angela strode out with a complaint copy and a case number, but oh, she hadn't missed Wallace's flicker of caution when she mentioned Isaiah's name.
Recognition?
Fear. Something was up. That evening, as she recounted the shed break-in to Jalen over dinner, her phone buzzed, a text. She glanced at it and frowned, her heart skipping. What is it, Mom? Jalen asked, his fork pausing mid-air. Nothing, just work, she said too fast, but it wasn't work, oh no. The message read, complaint filed has been flagged.
Stamby.
No name, no explanation, but Angela knew, Protocol 7 was kicking in. She deleted it fast, her mind racing. Grayson's crossed a line, and now the shadows are moving. Across town, Maya Thompson hunched over her computer, her room lit by the eerie glow of her screen. What started as a spark of curiosity about Jalen's dad had exploded into a full-blown obsession. Can you believe her grit? Her fingers danced over the keyboard, diving through military forums, declassified reports, and shady corners of the internet most kids wouldn't touch. Maya was a wizard with tech, way sharper than most grown-ups knew. Days of digging paid off when she stumbled on gold, a redacted mission report whispering, extraction team led by King retrieved asset under heavy opposition. Whoa. Then, in a crusty old forum, a retired Marine dropped a bomb. When the silencers rolled in, you knew it was game over. Ghosts, man, in and out before anyone blinked. Another vet chimed in, Operation Silencer? Most classified unit ever, still locked tight. Maya's heart raced. Is this Jalen's dad? The timeline fit, the secrecy screamed Isaiah King. But King's a common name. Could it be a fluke? She leaned back, mind buzzing, when her door creaked open.
Stay up, Maya?
It's past midnight, her dad James said, peering in. Just wrapping up some research, she chirped, slamming her browser tab shut. Too close. James studied her, his lawyer's instincts pinging. This about the King boy and that cop you mentioned? Busted. Maybe, she admitted, sheepish. James sighed, oh, he knows her too well. Maya, I get you want to help, but be careful. If Jalen's dad is who you think, this is deep water, no life vest. What do you mean? She pushed, eyes wide. Just watch your step, he warned. If Angela King needs legal help, tell her to call me direct, but stay clear of this mess. After he left, Maya reopened her tabs. Can't stop now. One last find sealed it, a redacted report with a signature, A. King, Operation Silencer, Unit 8. Not proof, but enough to make her believe. Jalen wasn't lying. Can you feel her thrill? The next few days brought a weird calm to Oak Ridge Heights, like the hush before a storm. Grayson was benched on desk duty, sweating under the investigation into Angela's complaint. Serves him right. Jalen walked to school unbothered, but the neighborhood felt off. Black SUVs with tinted windows prowled at night. Creepy much? Unmarked cars parked at odd hours, engines idling. What's their deal?
Whisper spread like wildfire. Something is up in our little suburb.
One evening, Jalen swung by Thompson's Corner Market for a Gatorade after basketball practice, his sneakers squeaking on the linoleum.
And was there? Grayson.
In civvies, buying cigarettes, his eyes locking onto Jalen in the store mirror. Oh no. That fake smile spread across his face, cold as ice. Well, if it ain't G.I. Joe's boy, he drawled, loud enough for the whole store to hear.
Sty spinning fairy tales, Soldier Boy.
Can you feel Jalen's blood boil? Jalen stayed cool, holding Grayson's gaze in the mirror as he plunked his drink on the counter, pulling out his wallet. Don't let him win. Grayson stepped closer, his voice hardening.
You know what is funny?
I did some digging on your dad, interesting stuff. Jalen's heart raced. What did he find? But his face stayed stone cold. He paid and turned to leave.
Yent done talking. Grayson snapped, ego bruised.
But I'm done listening, Jalen said quietly, echoing his dad's steely calm, those dark eyes giving nothing away but seeing everything. Oh, that look, it was Isaiah's, straight from that eerie photo, and it rattled Grayson. You think you're tough 'cause daddy taught you tricks, he sneered, crowding Jalen's space. Let me tell ya, kid, your dad's no hero. Men like him? They're just killers. Jalen didn't flinch, didn't back down. Can you imagine that strength? We done here, sir? I gotta get home. Grayson's face twisted. Why won't this kid break? But Mr. Thompson, the store owner, cleared his throat loud. Everything okay over there?
Fine.
Grayson muttered, stepping back, his power trip fizzling. Just catching up with a local troublemaker. Jalen walked out, Grayson's glare burning into his back. Outside he took a deep breath. Steady man, steady. His dad's words rang clear. Control what you can, your reactions are yours. Can you feel his resolve? The next day, Jalen was bawling with friends at the public court, the hoop clanging with every shot, freedom. Then screech. Police cruisers rolled up, lights flashing like a bad movie. Grayson strutted out, 2 other cops in tow, his face a mask of smug victory. Jalen King, he bellowed, storming onto the court. You're coming with us. The game froze, everyone staring. What's this now? What for? Jalen asked, ball still in hand, his voice calm but eyes sharp. Disturbance reported. Witnesses say you were involved. Grayson said, cuffs already out. Disturbance? Seriously? What disturbance? I've been here for an hour. Jalen shot back, standing tall. His friends jumped in, loyal crew. He ain't done nothing. We've all been right here. But Grayson didn't care. Oh, this was personal. A power play to put Jalen in his place, to show who's boss. Turn around. Hands behind your back, he ordered, cuffs glinting in the sun. Can you feel the injustice? Jalen's heart pounded, but he stood his ground, the basketball a shield in his hands. Isaiah's son doesn't break. The scene was a powder keg, friends yelling, cops closing in, Grayson's ego driving it all. But oh, what Grayson didn't know. His obsession, his line crossing, his taunts, they'd already set a trap he couldn't escape. Those black SUVs, those silent calls to Angela, Maya's digging, they were threads in a web closing around him. Isaiah King was coming, and with him, a truth so fierce it'd shatter Grayson's world. Can you imagine the reckoning? Jalen's quiet strength, Angela's fury, Maya's courage, they were the spark, and Isaiah was the flame. Oak Ridge Heights was about to learn, mess with the Kings, and you'll face a force unstoppable. This isn't just Jalen's fight, it's ours. How often do we let snap judgments blind us to truth? Jalen's story, Isaiah's shadow, they dare us to see beyond the surface, to fight for what's right. If this tale of grit and justice lit you up, smash that like button and subscribe for more stories that shake you awake. Drop a comment, where you watching from, and when did you stand up to a bully? Let's keep this fire roaring. Thank you for joining us, and here's to facing down lies, standing fierce, and never backing down, starting now. Can you feel it? That heart-pounding dread when you're cornered, knowing the wolves are circling, but you've got to stay cool? For Jalen King, a 16-year-old black teenager in the too-perfect bubble of Oak Ridge Heights, the dread was a living thing, clawing at his chest as Officer Bradley Grayson snapped cold handcuffs around his wrists on the basketball court. Oh, what a gut punch. Jalen complied, his every move deliberate, his father's voice a lifeline in his mind. In a room full of wolves, become the quiet storm. Can you imagine the strength it took? As the metal bit into his skin, he stood tall, refusing to give Grayson the fear he craved. Across the street, Maya Thompson's hands shook as she live-streamed the whole ugly scene to her private social media, her phone a weapon against injustice. Her dad, James, a civil rights attorney, was already dialing colleagues before the cruiser hauling Jalan even peeled out. "Oh Maya, you're a hero." At the police station, Jalan sat alone in a sterile holding room, not an interrogation room, not yet, but close enough to make his pulse race. No charges, just Grayson's petty game to make him sweat. Can you believe this guy's nerve? Meanwhile, Angela King stormed into the station like a force of nature, her hospital ID swinging, her voice sharp as a blade. "Where's my son?" she demanded, her fury barely leashed. Jalan King. "An officer dragged him off the basketball court an hour ago." The desk sergeant fumbled with his computer, his face paling. "He's being held pending investigation of a disturbance." "A disturbance? Seriously? What disturbance?" Angela snapped, her eyes blazing. "My son was playing basketball with friends. I've got witnesses." "Ma'am, you'll need to speak with the arresting officer," the sergeant stammered. "Then get him now. And I want to see my son immediately." "That's not possible, Officer Grayson's processing, Grayson." Angela's voice cut like glass. "The same Grayson who's under investigation for breaking into my property? The one harassing my son? He's running this." The sergeant squirmed, busted. "Ma'am, I understand." "No you don't," she roared, her composure cracking. "Get your supervisor, or my next call's to my lawyer, then every news outlet in the state." Can you feel her mama bear rage? Inside the holding room, Grayson sauntered in, his smirk oozing smugness. "Comfortable, kid?" he taunted, leaning against the wall. Jalan stayed silent, his face a mask. "Don't give him nothing." "You know," Grayson drawled, "I could charge you with assault. Got a witness saying you shoved someone at that court. Your word against his." Jalan didn't bite, his silence a steel wall. Oh, that must have burned Grayson. "Not so tough without Daddy to save you, huh?" the officer sneered, stepping closer, his voice dripping venom. "Where's he at, anyway? Off on some secret mission? Or maybe he just doesn't give a damn about you." Can you imagine the cruelty? Jalan met Grayson's eyes, his gaze steady as stone. "You charging me with something, sir? Or is this just more harassment?" Oh snap, Jalan's got spine. Grayson's smirk faltered, but before he could spit back, his phone buzzed. He checked it, frowned, "Uh-oh, trouble," and stepped out, leaving Jalan alone with his racing thoughts. In the hallway, Sergeant Wallace was waiting, his face a thundercloud. "What the hell are you doing, Grayson?" he barked. "This kid's mom is tearing up the lobby, threatening lawyers and TV crews." "She's right, you're under investigation for that shed break-in. You shouldn't touch this case." Grayson bristled. "Back off, man. The kid was in a disturbance. I was responding to a call." "What call?" Wallace snapped. "Dispatch has zilch about any trouble at the court." Grayson floundered. "Caught. Confidential source," he lied, grasping at straws. Wallace wasn't having it. "Oh no. This stops now. The kid goes home with his mom, and you're suspended, effective immediately. Badge and gun, Grayson, now." "You can't do that." Grayson sputtered. "This ain't about the kid. There's something off with the dad. Isaiah King's hiding something big." Wallace's eyes flickered. Did he know something? But his voice stayed hard. "All the more reason to back off, Grayson. Trust me, you're in waters too deep for wading." As they bickered, a hush fell over the station. Can you feel the shift? The usual buzz of radios and chatter faded, like the air itself was holding its breath. Officers at their desks sat up straighter, eyes darting to the entrance. Through the glass doors strode a man. Average height, jeans, boots, gray tee, nothing flashy, but oh the way he moved. Deliberate, alert, like a panther in a cage of sheep. Isaiah King had arrived, and the room knew it. Can you picture that presence? Angela spotted him first, her face flooding with relief. Her rock was here. Their eyes locked, a silent vow passing between them, before Isaiah glided to the desk, his voice deep and calm. "I'm here for my son, Jalan King." The desk sergeant gaped. "Who's this guy?" before stuttering, "Sir, I'll need ID." Isaiah pulled out his wallet, slow and steady, and slid over a military ID with red markings that screamed classified. The sergeant's eyes bugged out, "Holy crap," and he stammered, "One moment, sir." Suddenly all respect. "I'll get the sergeant." Wallace, still arguing with Grayson, froze when he saw Isaiah. Oh, he knows that face. A former soldier himself, Wallace recognized those red markings, top-tier clearance. "Mr. King," he said, thrusting out a hand. "Sergeant Paul Wallace. There's been a misunderstanding with your son." "Has there?" Isaiah replied, his voice smooth but edged, shaking the hand with a grip that spoke volumes. His eyes flicked to Grayson, who stood nearby, trying to hide his shock behind a scowl. "Oh, he's in trouble now. Your son was brought in for a disturbance, but there's no evidence," Wallace rushed out. "He's being released, no charges." "I'd like to see him now," Isaiah said, not asking, demanding. "Right this way." Wallace said, "All business." As they moved, Grayson stepped up, ego bruised. "Hold up, we're still processing. Stand down, Grayson." Wallace snapped. "You're suspended, remember?" Isaiah paused, turning to face Grayson fully. Oh, that moment. The officer felt a chill as Isaiah's piercing eyes, the same ones from that creepy shed photo, sized him up, strengths, weaknesses, threat level, all catalogued in a heartbeat. "Officer Grayson," Isaiah said, his tone almost friendly, "I hear you've been asking about me." Grayson swallowed hard, busted, but clung to his bravado. "Just doing my job, keeping the community safe." "By breaking into my property? Harassing my son?" Isaiah's words were calm, but oh, they cut deep. He pulled a folded document from his pocket and handed it to Wallace. "This is a formal request for all records of Officer Grayson's interactions with my family, including today's stunt. Filed through proper channels, but I thought I'd drop a courtesy copy in person." Wallace scanned it, spotting seals and signatures way above his pay grade. Yikes. His face paled. "We'll cooperate fully, Mr. King." Isaiah nodded, then strode on, leaving Grayson seething, humiliated in front of everyone. Can you feel his rage boiling? This wasn't the fight Grayson wanted. No fists, no shouting, just a quiet flex of power he couldn't touch. Jalon looked up as the holding room door swung open, expecting Grayson's sneer. Instead, "Dad." For a split second, his cool cracked, relief, love, worry flashing across his face before he locked it down. "Dad," he said, voice soft but full. Isaiah crossed the room in 3 strides, his hand landing firm on Jalon's shoulder, stronger than any hug. "You okay?" Jalon nodded, tough as nails. "I'm good. Let's go home." Angela joined them, forming a fierce triangle around their son, and oh, the Kings moved through that station like a fortress, eyes forward, dignity unbreakable. Grayson watched, his frustration a wildfire. How'd I lose control? His authority was dust, his ego shredded by a man whose quiet strength screamed danger. In the station lot, Grayson sat in his car, knuckles white on the wheel, suspended? Me? He'd been humiliated, outmaneuvered. Isaiah King set off every alarm in his head. Too calm, too sharp, too damn dangerous.
10 cents au vert.
No badge, no police access, but he had buddies, favors to call in. That night, while the Kings shared their first family dinner in months, laughter, lasagna, love, Grayson hunched over his home computer, fingers flying. A pal in military records owed him big, and after some arm twisting, "Promise me a favor later," he got in. Isaiah King's file loaded, mostly blacked out, but oh, what a find. Deployments to ghost towns Grayson never heard of, dates that didn't match any public ops, and at the top, in bold, active classified operative, not retired. Active.
Grayson S. Briscogt. What the hell? En active spook in suburbia?
Can you imagine his shock? At the King house, after Jalon crashed in bed, Isaiah and Angela sat in the living room, voices hushed over steaming coffee.
How bad is it?
Angela asked, worry etching her face. Manageable, for now. Isaiah said, his calm a steel anchor. But Grayson? He's unpredictable, dangerous in his ignorance. He broke into our shed, found my box.
Angela S. eyes widened. Oh, no.
I know. Isaiah nodded. It was a test. The lock was left open on purpose. Nothing in there spills real secrets, just enough to hook him.
Angela S. lips twitched. Almost a smile.
You were testing him even then? Had to know what we're dealing with. Isaiah's face hardened. He's the worst kind, a wounded ego with a point to prove. He'll keep coming, already hit restricted databases.
How do you know?
Angela gasped. Protocol. Isaiah said. I got pinged the second he snooped.
Angela shook her head. My husband, always 10 steps ahead.
What now? We wait, see his next move. The team's in place, watching him.
And Jalen. Her voice cracked.
Arrested today, Isaiah, in front of his friends, because of this guy's vendetta. I know. Isaiah's tone stayed steady, but oh, the fire in his eyes. Grayson learned that was a mistake. Can you hear the promise in that? Meanwhile, Grayson slipped out of his house, headed to a dive bar to drown his fury and plot. Idiot didn't notice the car parked 2 blocks away. High-powered optics tracked him, a soft voice murmuring into a secure comms, he's poked the wrong ghost. The crosshairs lingered on Grayson's chest, chilling, before drifting off. And he doesn't even know it yet.
Oh, Grayson, you're in deep.
Just past midnight, Isaiah King parked a nondescript truck under an old oak on the edge of Oak Ridge Heights, headlights off, moving like a phantom. He sat still, eyes scanning the dark. Any tales? Any traps? Years of ops in death trap zones had honed his instincts razor-sharp, and even here in quiet suburbia, he trusted them. Tonight, especially, why? Because Grayson's reckless snooping had stirred shadows bigger than he could dream, and Isaiah was ready to face them.
Can you feel the storm brewing?
The King's fight wasn't just about one rogue cop, it was about truth, love, and shattering lies. Jalen's quiet storm, Angela's fierce heart, Isaiah's unyielding strength. They were a family forged in fire, proving Oak Ridge Heights wrong with every step. Grayson's taunts, his break-in, his cuffs, they'd backfire spectacularly when the full weight of Isaiah's world came crashing down.
Can you picture the justice?
Maya's video, those black SUVs, the whispers, they were all building to a reckoning that'd shake this suburb awake. Jalen walked taller, his dignity a crown, his family a fortress, unbreakable. Can you feel their power? This story dares us to see past badges, past lies, to the heroes hiding in plain sight. If Jalen's triumph lit you up, smash that like button and subscribe for more stories that roar with truth. Drop a comment, where you watching from, and when did you face down a bully? Let's keep this fire blazing. Thank you for joining us, and here's to standing fierce, loving deep, and never letting lies win, starting now.
Can you feel it?
That raw, electric surge of injustice that burns in your chest when someone's targeted for no reason but the color of their skin? For Jalen King, a 16-year-old black teenager in the pristine cage of Oak Ridge Heights, that surge was a wildfire, but he stood unshaken as Officer Bradley Grayson's cuffs snapped shut around his wrists on the basketball court.
Oh, the sheer audacity of it.
Jalen complied, his heart pounding, his father's voice a beacon in the chaos. In a room full of wolves, become the quiet storm. Can you imagine the courage it took to stay calm? As the cold metal bit into his skin, Maya Thompson stood across the street, her hands trembling but her phone steady, live streaming every second to her private social media. Her dad, James, a civil rights attorney, was already rallying his team before the cruiser whisked Jalen away.
Oh, Maya, you're a warrior.
At the station, Jalen sat alone in a stark holding room, not quite an interrogation cell, but close enough to make his pulse race. No charges, just Grayson's cruel game to break him. How low can this guy sink? Angela King stormed in like a hurricane, her hospital ID swinging, her voice a razor. Where's my son? She demanded, her fury shaking the front desk.
Jalen King.
Dragged off the basketball court an hour ago. The desk sergeant fumbled, his face paling. He's held for a disturbance investigation.
A disturbance? Are you kidding? What disturbance?
Angela snapped, eyes blazing. My son was playing basketball, I've got witnesses. Ma'am, talk to the arresting officer, the sergeant stammered. Then get him now. I want my son immediately.
Officer Grayson is processing, Grayson. Angela's voice sliced through. The creep under investigation for breaking into my home? The one harassing my son?
He's in charge. The sergeant squirmed, caught.
I'll get the supervisor.
Oh, can you feel her righteous rage?
Inside, Grayson slunk into the holding room, his smirk dripping venom.
"Comfy kid," he taunted, leaning against the wall. Jalon stayed silent, his face a fortress. "Give him nothing." "I could charge you with assault," Grayson drawled. "Got a witness saying you shoved someone at the court, your word against his." Jalon didn't flinch. Oh, that must have stung Grayson's ego. "Not so tough without daddy, huh?" the officer sneered, stepping closer. "Where's he at?
Some secret mission?
Or maybe he just doesn't care."
Can you believe this guy's cruelty?
Jalon locked eyes with him, steady as stone. "You charging me, sir? Or is this just more harassment?"
Boom, Jalen's got still.
Grayson's smirk wavered, but his phone buzzed, saving him. He frowned trouble, and stepped out, leaving Jalon's heart racing. In the hall, Sergeant Wallace was fuming.
What the hell, Grayson?
The kid's mom's tearing up the lobby, threatening lawyers and news crews. "You're under investigation for the shed break-in, you shouldn't be near this case." Grayson bristled. "Back off." He was in a disturbance.
What disturbance?
Wallace snapped.
No dispatch call exist.
Grayson floundered, busted.
Confidential source. Elide.
Wallace wasn't buying it. "Oh no. This stops now."
The kid goes home, and you're suspended, badge and gun, now. You can't. Grayson sputtered.
"This ain't about the kid. Isaiah King's hiding something big." Wallace's eyes flickered. "Does he know?" But he growled, "Back off, Grayson."
You're in too deep. Can you feel the tension?
As they argued, a hush fell over the station. "Can you hear the air shift?" Radios dimmed, chatter faded, officers straightened like they sensed a storm. Through the glass doors strode Isaiah King, average height but radiating power in jeans, boots, and a gray tee. His every step screamed control, deliberate, silent, like a predator in a pen of prey. Oh, what a presence! Angela's face lit with relief. Her warrior was here. Their eyes locked, a vow unspoken, before Isaiah glided to the desk, voice deep and calm.
Amir Formai son Jalen King.
The sergeant gaped, "Who's this?" and stammered, "ID, sir." Isaiah slid out a military ID with red markings, classified, and the sergeant's jaw dropped. "One moment," he squeaked, suddenly all respect.
Wallace, mid-spat with Grayson, froze recognition.
A former soldier, he knew those markings meant business. "Mr. King," he said, hand out.
Sergeant Wallace.
"Misunderstanding with your son. Has there?" Isaiah's voice was smooth-edged as he shook hands, his eyes flicking to Grayson's scowl. "Oh. No evidence for the disturbance claim," Wallace rushed out. "He's released, no charges." "I want him now." Isaiah said, "No room for debate. This way." Wallace said, hustling.
Grayson stepped up, ego bruised. "We still processing. Stand down." Wallace barked.
"You're suspended." Isaiah turned, facing Grayson fully. Oh, that stare. Those piercing eyes, straight from that shed photo, dissected him. Threat level? "Hi. Officer Grayson," Isaiah said, almost casual. "You've been asking about me." Grayson swallowed, caught. "Just keeping the community safe. By breaking into my home? Harassing my son." Isaiah's calm cut deep. He handed Wallace a document. Official seals, big signatures. "Records request for Grayson's actions against my family, filed through channels, but here's a courtesy copy." Wallace paled. "Yikes. We'll cooperate, Mr. King." Isaiah nodded, striding on, leaving Grayson fuming, humiliated in front of everyone. Can you feel his defeat? Isaiah's return wasn't planned. Oh no. Jalon's arrest had yanked him from a critical overseas mission, leaving it dangling like a live wire. Few knew what Isaiah did. Fewer grasped its weight. After securing the area, he slipped from his truck, jeans and jacket blending into the night. Silent as a ghost, he wove through backyards, dodging cameras, every blind spot, every escape route mapped years ago. Not paranoia, precision. Can you imagine living like that? He paused at Mrs. Jenkins' garden. She'd spilled to Grayson, not cruelly but carelessly. Oh, the danger of small talk. The King house was dark, save a kitchen glow. Isaiah entered through a hidden side door, his steps silent, dodging creaky floorboards like a dance he'd mastered. Angela waited, her tea cold, unfazed by his sudden appearance. 16 years married to a ghost does that. "You're early," she whispered, rising to hug him tight. "Had to be." Isaiah held her, then stepped back, searching her face. Tired, tense, but strong. "Where's he at?" "Upstairs, asleep." Angela read the lines on his face. New scar, new weight. "How bad?" "Complicated." Isaiah poured water, his calm a shield. Mission was nearly done. Had to hand it to Miller and Jackson. Angela nodded. "Huge deal. They'll handle it." "Yeah, but my exit raised flags. Questions are coming, from the secretary to local assets. An operative like me doesn't bail mid-mission unless it's critical." It was critical. Angela said, fierce. "Our son was targeted, arrested for nothing." Isaiah's jaw tightened. "Oh, that fire. Grayson'll learn what that means." "Can you hear the vow?" They sat, the reunion sweet but heavy. "Can you feel their love?" "He's changed," Angela said softly. "Growing so fast." He handled it like a pro, calm, no escalation. Isaiah's pride glowed. Just like his dad. His real smile broke through, rare, precious. "I should see him. He'll be thrilled you're home, even like this." Angela squeezed his hand, always his anchor. Isaiah glided upstairs, pausing at Jalen's door, his son's breathing a lullaby. He slipped in, Jalen asleep, arm over his face, so grown yet so young. Isaiah's heart ached. Too many absences, too many gaps. But oh, what a man Jalen was becoming, dignified, strong. "Can you see that bond?" Jalen stirred, eyes fluttering open. "Dad!" he gasped, bolting upright.
Et ils sont.
Isaiah sat on the bed, voice soft. "Sorry to wake you." In the hallway's dim glow, Jalen saw new lines, a fresh scar, but his dad's strength? Unchanged. "You're not due back for a month." Plans changed. Isaiah's hand rested on his shoulder, solid as ever. "Heard you had trouble." Jalen looked down, shame flickering. "I shouldn't have told that cop about you," Mom said. "You did nothing wrong." Isaiah cut in, firm. "Grayson targeted you for who you are, not what you said." Jalen nodded, soaking it in. "He kept pushing, asking about you." "I know, he's facing consequences." "You in trouble for coming back?" Isaiah's smile was sly. "Nothing I can't handle." "Can you feel their trust?" They talked for an hour, father and son weaving their bond tighter. Patience, legacy, discipline. Hardest battles are fought with restraint, not rage. Isaiah shared, not preaching, just passing wisdom. Jalen's eyes drooped, but before sleep took him, Isaiah leaned in. "Grayson, tell me everything." The next morning, Jalen at school, Isaiah slipped out before dawn, driving to a weathered diner, same one from his boyhood. Inside, 3 elderly black men sipped coffee, dominoes clacking. Walter Dixon, 82, grinned. "Look who blew in, Isaiah King, alive." Isaiah clasped hands, sliding into the booth, home. These elders had watched him grow, leave for war, return a shadow. Passing through. Isaiah said, coffee arriving unasked, small-town magic. "Heard your boy tangled with that new cop, Grayson, bad news." James Wilson said, all-knowing. Isaiah nodded. "He's got an unhealthy interest in us." Reverend Thomas Baker cut through. "You ain't here to chat, what do you need?" Info, community eyes. Grayson suspended, but he won't stop. "I need his moves tracked." The men shared a look, decades of trust. Done quiet-like. Walter said, "What's the town's vibe?" Isaiah asked. "Mixed." Baker said, "Some mad about Jalen's treatment, others," he shrugged, "same old prejudice. Some things don't change." Isaiah said, "Some do." James countered. 20 years back, a black family couldn't live here, now your son walks these streets." Isaiah nodded, slow progress but real. "Operation Silencer?" Baker teased. "Spill." Isaiah grinned. When it's over, we'll talk. Can you feel the roots? Isaiah left, warmed by old ties, but his mission loomed. He'd always watched Oak Ridge Heights, a guardian in the dark. Meanwhile, Grayson festered in his apartment, printouts and coffee cups a chaotic shrine to his obsession. That station humiliation, badge yanked, King's untouchable, burned like acid. Isaiah's file, half black, screamed danger, active classified operative, not retired. Why hide in suburbia? Grayson's theory, Isaiah's dirty, running a secret op under everyone's nose. Can you believe his delusion? He called a reporter, Frank, at the Daily Tribune. Did you check my info? Bradley, I can't accuse a guy of being a spy with no proof. Frank snapped. Your fixation's suspicious. Grayson hung up, fuming. Nobody gets it. He grabbed a burner phone, dialing a shady contact. Everything on Isaiah King, military, money, travel. And his kid Jalen. Costly, the voice warned. If he's government, it's dicey. Do it. Grayson barked. His plan? Expose Isaiah publicly, using Jalen as bait. Special Forces dad, he sneered. Fraud, and I'll prove it. Can you feel his desperation? Maya Thompson, meanwhile, was on her own mission, her computer a battlefield. Her video of Jalen's arrest had blown up online, sparking outrage. Go Maya. She'd edited it with context, exposing Grayson's harassment, and the community erupted. Some backed the cops, others cried foul. Can you hear the debate raging? Jalen's truth, Isaiah's shadow, they were shaking Oak Ridge Heights awake. Can you feel the tide turning? This isn't just the King's story, it's ours. How often do we let lies blind us to heroes? Jalen's calm, Angela's fire, Isaiah's strength. They challenge us to see truth, to fight prejudice with love. If this saga of grit and justice lit you up, smash that like button and subscribe for more stories that roar. Drop a comment, where you watching from, and when did you stand up to lies? Let's keep this fire blazing. Thank you for joining us, and here's to living fierce, loving deep and shattering lies, starting now. Can you feel it? That electric jolt of dread when the world turns against you, but you stand tall anyway? For Jalen King, a 16-year-old black teenager in the suffocating perfection of Oak Ridge Heights, the dread was a living pulse, but oh, how he held his ground. As military forums buzzed with cryptic whispers, Isaiah King. If it's who I think, that officer's in deep. The truth was creeping out, sparked by a retired Army colonel's deleted post that Maya Thompson snagged like a digital ninja. Can you believe her quick thinking? Meanwhile, Isaiah King, a Special Forces legend, strode into the Oak Ridge Heights police station, not to throw punches or shout demands, but to plant a flag of truth with a quiet power that shook the room. Chief Williams, sweating bullets, ushered him into his office, voice shaky. Mr. King, I swear Grayson's actions aren't our department's way. Isaiah's gaze was a laser, steady, unyielding. Individual choices, Chief. It's how you handle them that shows who you are. Williams squirmed under that stare. Can you feel the pressure? The shed break-ins under investigation, and Grayson suspended pending results. And my son's unlawful arrest? Isaiah's voice was flat, slicing through excuses. A misunderstanding, he pressed, the word dripping with challenge. Is that what you call racial profiling and false arrest here? Williams had no answer, busted. Isaiah didn't push, he just stood, sliding a plain white card across the desk. Name, number, nothing else. If Grayson contacts my family again, call me. Day or night. Williams stared at that card, rattled by a Pentagon call he'd gotten earlier. Do you know who Isaiah King is? What his record holds? Oh, Chief, what storm's brewing in your quiet town? While whispers of Isaiah's legend lit up the internet, Officer Bradley Grayson crouched in the dark, his night vision binoculars trained on the King house like a hunter stalking prey. Can you imagine his obsession? Behind him, 4 off-duty cops, his bitter allies, huddled, decked in stolen tactical gear, sidearms gleaming. This wasn't police work. No warrants, no cause, just Grayson's vendetta. We're just gathering intel, he hissed, voice low.
No fight, Justine document out.
They nodded, adjusting their gear, borrowed without a whisper to the department. House is dark, empty, one murmured. Intel says they're at a school event, till 9. Grayson smirked, thinking he'd outsmarted them.
Oh, what a fool.
That intel, a grocery store chat, was a trap, staged by Isaiah himself. The Kings weren't at any event. The house was empty because Isaiah knew Grayson was coming.
Can you feel the setup?
3 blocks away, Isaiah watched their every move on a laptop feed, his face a mask of calm. Predictable, he murmured to an unseen ally. Right on cue. Grayson picked the back door lock with slick precision, leading his rogue crew inside. Oh, the nerve. They crept through the King house, snapping photos, rifling drawers, hunting for secrets in a home that screamed love, family photos, jasmine candles, Angela's neat touches. Nothing here, one cop growled after 20 minutes.
Just family junk, waste of time, Bradley.
Keep looking.
Grayson snapped, desperate.
Under furniture, behind frames, he's hiding something. Oh, how blind he was. Hidden cameras tracked their every step, and Isaiah had already struck tiny devices on their cars, disabling them with surgical precision.
No explosion, juste à qui message. You're not in charge. When they slunk out, fin d'un dirt, reality it like a brick.
My car won't start. One panicked. One by one, same story. Grayson kicked his tire, fury boiling. He knew. Somehow he knew we were coming. Can you feel his dread? As Grayson's crew scrambled, stranded in tactical gear after their illegal raid, Isaiah made one call, not to the cops, oh no. He dialed an old military buddy at the Pentagon. It's King, he said, voice steady. Need that favor. The next morning, Grayson and his goons faced the fallout, reprimands, suspensions, maybe jail time. Chief Williams got another Pentagon call, the voice ice cold. Your mess is going public. Get ahead or it'll bury your career. Isaiah's move was pure strategy, maximum impact, minimum force.
No fist, no sirens, juste évidence and the system is on way to cruising Grayson.
Can you see the brilliance? But Grayson, drowning in humiliation, wasn't done. Oh no. His ego, raw and bleeding, drove him to a reckless edge. The next day, he stormed Oak Ridge High at lunch, no badge, just the swagger of a cop who thought he still had power. In the crowded cafeteria, he zeroed in on Jalen, grabbing his arm with a snarl. Jalen King, you're under arrest, he bellowed, students gasping, trays clattering. What? On what charge? Jalen asked, calm but heart-racing. Stay cool, like Dad. Obstruction of justice, interfering with an investigation.
Grayson lead, wild-eyed. Your dad is under scrutiny for serious crime and you read info. Total garbage. Grayson has delusion screamed. Arrest Jalen, force Isaiah out. Can you believe his madness?
Maya, nearby, hit record, live streaming to her followers. This is live at Oak Ridge High, she narrated, voice steady despite her shock. As suspended cops trying to arrest Jalen King, no warrant, no cause. The video exploded online, hitting news sites in minutes. Go Maya. Students backed away, teachers stepped up, confused.
The principal charged in. Grayson, you've got no authority.
Release him now.
Stay out of this.
Grayson snapped.
Police business.
You're not police anymore. The principal fired back, phone out, calling the department. Oh snap. But Grayson, lost in his fantasy, shoved Jalen toward his personal car. Kidnapping anyone? Within an hour, the police station was a war zone. Protesters swarmed, students, parents, neighbors, fueled by Maya's video. Can you hear their outrage? Isaiah walked in alone, his comma blade cutting through the chaos. Chief Williams met him, sweating. Mr. King, this wasn't authorized.
Grayson is rogue. Where's my son?
Isaiah's voice was quiet, but oh, it carried. Everyone froze. Interview room with Grayson. We've sent officers to. Isaiah didn't wait, striding to the rooms, unstoppable. No one dared block him, would you? He burst into the room where Grayson ranted at Jalen.
The ex-cop's eyes lit with defiance.
Perfect timing, he sneered. Now we'll get the truth. What are you doing in Oak Ridge Heights, King?
Running OPS?
Using your family as cover. Isaiah ignored him, eyes on Jalen. You okay? Jalen nodded, steady despite the cuffs. That's my boy. Isaiah slid a folder onto the table. Legal docs, raid footage, military credentials that dwarfed Grayson's snooping. Grayson, he said, calm as ice, you're holding a minor against his will, abducted from school while impersonating an officer, federal crimes.
Grayson's bravado craqued. What?
I'm investigating a national security threat.
No.
Isaiah cut him off. You're persecuting my family because your ego can't handle being wrong. You've crossed lines you can't uncross.
Can you feel the checkmate?
Behind the scenes, phones rang off the hook, local officials, parents, military brass, even Congress. Do you know who King is? One roared at Williams. What he's done for this country. Two officers burst in, yanking Grayson away. He's a ghost operative, he screamed, flailing.
Running à mission here.
The cops traded embarrassed looks, this guy's lost it, and dragged him off, his shouts fading. Isaiah freed Jalon, checking his wrists, red from cuffs.
Let's go home.
Outside, protesters cheered Jalon's release. Maya pushed through, still streaming.
Jalen, you okay?
What happened? He flashed a small smile. Tough kid.
I'm fine, it's over.
Isaiah's hand on his shoulder guided him through the crowd, their support a roar. But Isaiah's eyes? Oh, they knew, it wasn't over. Grayson was down, but unhinged, a ticking bomb. That night, Grayson sat in a holding cell, charges looming, serves him right. But his mind churned, a desperate plan forming. If the system wouldn't listen, if no one believed him about Isaiah, he'd take it into his own hands. Leverage, that's what he needed. And Jalon was the key. Can you feel his madness? By morning he was gone, apartment empty, phone dead, ankle monitor sliced off, left on his counter. His car? Ditched at a bus station 20 miles out. Grayson had vanished, using scraps of military training to go dark. Oh no. Chief Williams called an emergency meeting, voice tight. Find Grayson now, before he does something we'll regret. But at the King House, Isaiah took the news with eerie calm. You don't seem worried, the reporting officer said. Concerned isn't the word. Isaiah replied, eyes sharp. Prepared. Angela faced him, fear breaking through. He's coming for us.
For Jalen.
Isaiah corrected, steady. He needs leverage. We should leave, she urged, voice trembling. Just till they catch him. Running's not an option. Isaiah said, unyielding. This ends here, one way or another. Can you feel the stakes? Isaiah's early return, mission aborted overseas, wasn't just a dad coming home, it was a warrior answering a call. Few knew his work's weight, but oh, it was massive. Jalon's arrest had forced his hand, and now he stood guard, ready for Grayson's final strike. The King's fight wasn't just theirs, it's ours. How often do we judge, dismiss, destroy without seeing the truth? Jalon's courage, Angela's fire, Isaiah's calm, they dare us to challenge lies, to stand for justice. If this saga of grit and triumph lit you up, smash that like button and subscribe for more stories that roar. Drop a comment, where you watching from, and when did you defy a bully? Let's keep this fire blazing. Thank you for joining us, and here's to fighting fierce, loving deep and shattering lies, starting now. I notice you didn't provide a specific content segment to rewrite, but your request follows a series of similar tasks related to the Jalon King and Isaiah King story. Since the last content segment you provided ended with Isaiah preparing for Grayson's potential next move, I'll assume you want me to continue the narrative from that point, focusing on the emotional intensity and dramatic progression of the story, while incorporating the same themes, characters, and tone as the previous segments. If you meant to provide a specific new text segment, please share it, and I'll rewrite that instead. For now, I'll craft a continuation that picks up where the last segment left off, ensuring it aligns with the sample style, urgent, conversational, emotionally charged with vivid imagery, exclamations, and questions, while maintaining the story's core elements and meeting the 1,800-word minimum.
Can you feel it?
That suffocating weight of a storm about to break, when every shadow hides a threat, and every heartbeat screams stay ready? For Jalon King, a 16-year-old black teenager in the too-perfect trap of Oak Ridge Heights, that weight was crushing, but oh how he stood tall. Officer Bradley Grayson, a rogue cop driven by a toxic mix of ego and obsession, had vanished into the night, apartment empty, ankle monitor slashed, his car ditched like a ghost at a bus station 20 miles out.
Can you imagine the chaos et une échelle?
The Oak Ridge Heights Police Department was a hornet's nest, Chief Williams barking orders to hunt Grayson down before he struck again, but Isaiah King, Jalen's Special Forces legend of a father, wasn't waiting for badges to save his family. Oh no, he was a fortress, calm and lethal, his every move a chess master's play. As the town buzzed with fear and whispers, "Where's Grayson? What's he planning?" Isaiah stood guard, his piercing eyes missing nothing, ready to end this nightmare. On his terms. Can you feel the stakes soaring? At 1742 Cedar Street, the King House stood quiet, its modest glow a stark contrast to the chaos swirling outside. Inside, Angela King's hands trembled as she poured coffee, her fierce mama bear heart wrestling with a fear she'd never shown before. "He's coming for Jalen, isn't he?" she whispered, her voice cracking under the strain. Isaiah's nod was steady, his calm a lifeline in the dark. "He needs leverage, and Jalen's the key." Oh, the chill of that truth. Angela's eyes flashed. "Not my son. We should leave, Isaiah. Just until they catch him." Her plea hung heavy, raw with love. Isaiah's gaze softened, but his resolve was iron. "Running won't stop him, Angela. This ends here, one way or another." Can you hear the steel in his voice? Jalen, upstairs in his room, caught snippets of their hushed talk, his heart pounding. "Grayson's after me?" Why? He'd faced cuffs, taunts, humiliation, but this? A rogue cop hunting him like prey? Oh, it was too much for a kid. Yet, Isaiah's lessons, stay calm, control your storm, kept him grounded. He crept to his window, peering into the night. Were those shadows moving? Or just his fear playing tricks? Isaiah had cut short a critical mission overseas to protect his family, leaving secrets dangling like live wires. Few knew the weight of his work, but oh, it was massive. Now, in the quiet of his suburban fortress, he was every inch the operative, mapping Grayson's next move like a battlefield. "He's untrained but desperate," Isaiah told Angela, his voice low over the kitchen table's dim light. "He'll strike fast, sloppy, thinking he's got surprise." Angela's jaw tightened. "Sloppy or not, he's dangerous." "What's the plan?" she asked, her strength rallying. Isaiah's eyes gleamed. "That's my partner. We stay visible, draw him out. The team's watching, cameras, trackers, eyes everywhere." "Oh, can you feel the trap closing?" Angela nodded, gripping her mug. "We're in this together." But her heart ached for Jalen, caught in a war he didn't start. "He's just a kid, Isaiah." "He's our kid," Isaiah said, pride flaring. "He's stronger than Grayson knows." Can you see that, love? The next morning, Oak Ridge Heights woke to a town on edge. Whispers flew like wildfire. "Grayson's gone rogue. He's after the Kings." Maya Thompson's viral video of Jalen's arrest had lit a fuse, and now social media was ablaze, forums buzzing with cryptic nods to Isaiah's legend. "If it's that King, Grayson's toast." A retired colonel's deleted post had warned, and Maya's screenshot kept it alive. "Go girl." At Oak Ridge High, Jalen felt the stares, some awed, some pitying, as he walked the halls, his backpack heavy but his chin high. Tyler Wilson, once his tormentor, slunk up, sheepish. "Yo Jalen, sorry about before, your dad's like a badass." "Oh really, Tyler? Now you're a fan?" Jalen just nodded. "Keep it moving." But inside, pride swelled. "Dad's got my back." Maya caught him by his locker, her eyes fierce behind her glasses. "You okay?" "That video's everywhere. People are pissed." "I'm good," Jalen said, his calm a mirror of Isaiah's. "Thanks for recording, again." Maya grinned. "Teamwork. My dad's working with the NAACP, they're pushing for charges against Grayson." Can you feel the momentum? Across town, Chief Williams was drowning in calls, reporters, activists, Pentagon brass. "Do you know who Isaiah King is?" one growled. "His service record's a damn novel. Handle this or you're done." Williams sweated. What did I miss? He'd benched Grayson, but the ex-cop's rogue raid and Jalen's arrest had spiraled into a PR nightmare. Can you imagine the pressure? Meanwhile, Grayson was a ghost, slinking through backroads, his military scraps barely keeping him off the grid. In a seedy motel 30 miles out, he hunched over a burner phone, plotting. Jalen's the key. His obsession screamed, "Expose Isaiah, prove he's a fraud running ops in suburbia." Oh, what a delusion. He dialed his shady contact. Got anything on King? Bits, travel records to black sites, encrypted financials, but it's hot, the voice warned. Cost you triple. Send it. Grayson barked, his savings bleeding out. I'll drag King into the light. Back at the King house, Isaiah prepped like a general. Cameras checked, escape routes clear, a secure line humming with updates from his Pentagon ally. Grayson's off-grid, but he's close, the contact said. He's buying gear, knives, zip ties, tranks. Angela's breath caught. Tranks? For Jalon? He's escalating. Isaiah's calm didn't waver. Good, he's reckless. We'll use it. Oh, can you see the strategy? Jalon, sent to school for normalcy, felt the weight. Why me? But Isaiah's morning words steadied him. You're my legacy, stronger than you know. At lunch, Maya slid beside him, her phone buzzing with comments on her video. Communities rallying, protests planned. Jalon nodded, people care. But his eyes scanned the cafeteria, half expecting Grayson to burst in again. Stay ready, like Dad said. That night, the Kings stayed visible. Dinner at a local diner, Jalon's basketball game, baiting Grayson. Isaiah's team shadowed them, unseen, cameras, drones, boots on the ground. Can you feel the trap tightening? At the game, Jalon sank a three-pointer, the crowd roaring, but his eyes flicked to the stands. Isaiah's nod was a lifeline. Angela gripped her husband's hand. He's out there, isn't he? Let him come. Isaiah murmured. We're ready. Oh, the tension. Grayson, watching from a stolen car in the lot, seethed, they're mocking me. His plan, snatch Jalon post-game, force Isaiah to trade secrets for his son. Insane. As the game ended, Jalon headed to the locker room, Isaiah's team closing ranks. Grayson moved, slipping toward the gym's rear exit, now or never. But a shadow loomed. Crack. A silenced dart hit his neck, trank, his own weapon turned against him. He crumpled, eyes wide. How? Isaiah's voice was a low growl in the dark. You should have walked away. Can you feel the justice? Grayson woke in a secure facility, cuffed, his dreams of exposing Isaiah dust. Federal agents loomed. You're done. Kidnapping conspiracy, impersonation, unauthorized raids. Pick your poison, one said. Isaiah's evidence, raid footage, burner calls, hacked files, sealed his fate. Can you see the downfall? Back home, Jalon hugged his parents, safe but shaken. It's really over? You were incredible. Isaiah said, pride glowing. Kept your storm quiet. Angela's tears fell. My boy. No more secrets. Jalon asked. Isaiah's smile was warm. Just enough to keep us safe. Oak Ridge Heights reeled. Protests swelled. Grayson's charges hit the news. Maya's video sparked reform calls. Change is coming. The Kings stood tall, their love a beacon, proving truth shatters lies. Can you feel their triumph? This isn't just their story, it's ours. How often do we judge without seeing? Jalon's grit, Angela's heart, Isaiah's calm. They dare us to fight prejudice, to stand for truth. If this saga lit you up, smash that like button and subscribe for more stories that roar. Drop a comment. Where you watching from, and when did you defy a lie? Let's keep this fire blazing. Thank you for joining us, and here's to living fierce, loving deep, and crushing lies, starting now. Can you feel it? That heart-stopping pulse of danger when everything you love hangs by a thread, but you hold fast with unshakable resolve? For Jalon King, a 16-year-old black teenager in the polished pressure cooker of Oak Ridge Heights, that pulse was a roaring storm, but oh how he stood firm. The decision to keep him home from school was a gut instinct that proved razor-sharp when a text pinged from Maya just before noon. Need to talk. Emergency. Meet at Crawford Park Trail. Don't tell parents. Jalon, hunched over homework at the kitchen table, froze. What the heck? His instincts screamed wrong. Maya wouldn't pull this, not after Grayson's madness, and never tell him to hide it from his folks. Can you imagine the chill down his spine? He bolted to his dad, shoving the phone at Isaiah King, the Special Forces legend whose calm was a fortress. Isaiah's eyes scanned the text. Oh, he knew. Smart move not responding, son. This isn't Maya. A quick call to her real number confirmed it. She was in class, phone tucked in her backpack. Someone faked it. Grayson. Isaiah growled, already in motion, securing the house like a battlefield commander. He's making his move. Oh, can you feel the trap snapping shut? Within minutes, Isaiah transformed their home into a stronghold. Few civilian houses could boast such defenses. Reinforced locks clicked into place, windows sealed with invisible shatterproof film, perimeter cameras whirring to life, high-tech fortress. Stay inside with Mom. Isaiah ordered Jalan, his voice steady as granite. I need to move. Jalan's heart raced. What's coming? What are you gonna do, Dad? He asked, eyeing the sleek device in Isaiah's hand, a military-grade communicator. End this. Isaiah's calm certainty was a vow, no anger, just a faith.
RS imbricable Will.
Can you hear that resolve? But even Isaiah's meticulous plans couldn't dodge every curveball. As Angela darted to the living room to yank the curtains shut, a sickening crack shattered the quiet, glass splintered, and a sinister hiss filled the air.
Smoke grenade. Isaiah roared. Out the back now. Oh, the chaos.
The king surged toward the rear exit, hearts pounding, but as Jalan hit the kitchen, a black-masked figure crashed through the side door. Grayson. He seized Jalan in a chokehold, his gun jamming against the teen's temple.
Don't move.
Grayson bellowed, his muffled voice raw with desperation.
Can you feel the terror?
Isaiah froze, his mind a laser despite the smoke swirling thick. Angela stood beside him, her eyes locked on Jalan. My baby. Officer Grayson, Isaiah said, voice even as steel, you're making a mistake you can't undo. Shut up. Grayson barked, his grip tightening. Jalan winced. You've played games long enough, time for truth. The smoke stung their eyes, blurring the room, hard to breathe. Grayson backed toward the door, dragging Jalan. I'm taking your kid for a real talk, he snarled.
Nos spécial force trick, nos pentagon pâles, juste US.
Then everyone will know who you are. Isaiah stepped forward, slow and deliberate. Stay calm.
Bradley, Irme.
There are lines you don't cross, even in war. This is one.
Stay back.
Grayson's gun pressed harder, his hand shaking. He's unraveling. Isaiah stopped, hands up. Take me instead, I'm your target.
Oh, the sacrifice. No.
Grayson's laugh was bitter, jagged.
You're too dangereux.
The boy's mine, you'll get orders soon. With that, he hauled Jalan outside to a waiting car, tires screeching as they vanished into the night.
Can you imagine the agony?
Isaiah moved like lightning, first ensuring Angela was safe, she's trembling, then activating a wrist device. Blackbird compromised, he snapped into it. Priority Alpha, tracking active. Angela clutched his arm, voice breaking. What did you do? Tell me you can find him. Isaiah's grim focus was a lifeline. Jalan's watch, military-grade tracker, undetectable. Black teams are mobilizing. Her eyes widened. A tracker? But I'm not waiting, he vowed, already gearing up. Oh, can you feel his fire? Miles away, in a crumbling warehouse on the town's edge, Grayson shoved Jalan into a metal chair, zip-tying his hands tight. Jalan's heart hammered, but he stayed calm, Isaiah's voice in his head. Observe everything, knowledge is survival. Grayson paced, gun in hand, his mask off, wild eyes, 3 days stubble, a man unhinged. Your dad's an operative, huh? He ranted. Running missions on American soil, against us. Jalan stayed silent, scanning, 2 exits, high windows, concrete floor, a tripod camera. He's recording this? Can you see his plan? Silent treatment won't save you. Grayson warned, leaning close, reeking of sweat and fear. I know plenty. Classified files, Pentagon calls, your house's spy gear. Normal families don't live like that. Jalan's eyes met his, steady, just like Dad. That resemblance drove Grayson wild. Talk, he screamed, slamming a table. Jalan's voice was cool, unshaken. What do you want? That my dad serves his country? Protects people? That's no secret. Protects. Grayson scoffed, manic. Men like him eliminate threats, work in shadows, they kill. Is that your deal? Jalan asked, quiet but bold. You're scared of him? Oh snap. Grayson's gun hand twitched, hit a nerve. I'm not scared, I'm exposing truth. People need to know dangerous operatives live among us. The only danger's you. Jalan shot back, courage surging. Breaking into our home, fake arrests, now kidnapping. Who's the threat, Grayson? Can you feel his bravery? Before Grayson could snap, his phone buzzed, an address, this warehouse, and 3 words, I'm coming in. His face drained, how? He rushed to the windows, seeing nothing, no cars, no lights. He's bluffing, he muttered, hands shaking, but he's not. Jalan's small smile said it, you don't know my dad, do you? Isaiah moved through the industrial district like a phantom, analyzing the warehouse, angles, exits, traps. No backup, just a father. Inside, Grayson's panic spiked, checking doors, piling crates, his camera plan crumbling as fear ate his rage. Your dad thinks he's untouchable, he hissed at Jalan. Special forces, secret missions, he's just a man, bleeds like anyone. You're right. Isaiah's voice boomed, echoing from nowhere. Where is he? I'm a man, a father. And you have my son. Grayson spun, gun waving, searching wildly. Show yourself. Let Jalan go, Bradley. Isaiah's calm cut through. Walk away, nobody gets hurt. Liar. Grayson screamed. You want me silenced, that's what you do, right? Silence. Then Isaiah stepped from the shadows, hands empty, no gear, just jeans and a tee, unarmed. If I wanted you silenced, he said softly, we wouldn't be talking. Can you feel the power? Grayson's gun locked on Isaiah's chest. Stay there, 1 step, I shoot. Isaiah stopped, eyes flicking to Jalan. I've got you. Then back to Grayson. You won't shoot, you're a cop, not a killer. Not yet. You don't know me. Grayson's voice cracked. He's breaking. Everyone thinks I'm crazy, but I know you. Classified missions, Pentagon strings. Is that your story? Isaiah asked, stepping closer, bold. I serve in dark places, against warlords, terrorists, not my own people, never here. Stop.
Grayson's finger tightened. Danger.
Or what? Shoot an unarmed man before your son? That's you, Bradley. Isaiah advanced, slow, relentless. You wanted truth, here it is, I protect the innocent, no shadow plots, just duty. Fight me. Grayson begged, desperation raw. Show them what you are. He lunged, swinging the gun at Jalan. No. But Isaiah was lightning. His hand struck Grayson's wrist, numbing it, guns down. Grayson flailed, but Isaiah deflected each blow, using his momentum, pure control. A flurry of precise strikes to pressure points, and Grayson crumpled, arms limp, nervous system stunned. It's over. That's who I am. Isaiah said, voice low. Trained to end fights with minimal force, to protect, not destroy. Can you see the mastery? Isaiah cut Jalan free safe. As SWAT stormed in, guns up, Chief Williams and feds trailing, Isaiah called them. Isaiah King, a fed shouted. Pentagon sent us, you good? Isaiah nodded, arm around Jalan. My heart. We're good. Grayson needs medical, non-lethal takedown, monitor him. Grayson, raving about conspiracies, was hauled off as news vans swarmed, stories out. Cameras caught Isaiah and Jalan emerging, unbowed, the truth breaking free, decorated veteran, classified hero, father above all. Can you feel the glory? Grayson's fall was total, charges piled high, his obsession his ruin. Isaiah's evidence, videos, calls, files, buried him. The kings stood tall, their love a lighthouse, Oak Ridge Heights forever changed. Maya's videos fueled justice, reforms coming. Jalan walked proud, his courage a crown, his family unbreakable. Can you see their light? This isn't just their story, it's ours. How do we judge without truth? Jalan's grit, Angela's heart, Isaiah's calm. They challenge us to fight lies, live fiercely. Smash that like button, subscribe for more stories that roar. Comment, where you watching, and when did you shatter a lie? Keep this fire blazing. Thank you, and here's to standing tall, loving deep, and crushing lies, starting now. Can you feel it? That electric hum of a community teetering on the edge of transformation, where pain and truth collide to spark something new. 3 weeks after the heart-stopping warehouse standoff shook Oak Ridge Heights, the town hall was a pressure cooker, packed beyond capacity with residents from every corner of life. Rich, poor, black, white, young, old, spilling into the hallways, their voices a roaring tide. Mayor Patricia Davis fought to tame the chaos, her gavel banging like a heartbeat. "Please, everyone," she pleaded, voice straining. "Our guest speaker's here." The crowd hushed as Isaiah King strode to the podium, a simple button-down and slacks cloaking his Special Forces legend. No medals, no fanfare, just a quiet authority that silenced the room. Can you see that power? Oh, how Oak Ridge Heights had changed. Bradley Grayson, the rogue cop whose obsession tore the town apart, faced a mountain of federal charges: kidnapping, civil rights violations, the works. The police department was under a microscope, and Isaiah, once a classified shadow, now stood at the heart of a raw, urgent conversation about race, justice, and what it means to protect those you love. Can you feel the weight of that moment? Thank you for being here. Isaiah's deep voice rolled through the hall, steady and commanding. What happened to my family isn't rare, it's just visible. It forced a talk many dodge. He paused, his piercing eyes sweeping over faces, some warm with support, others tight with doubt. Why's he so calm? "I'm not here to point fingers or demand revenge," he declared. "I'm here to build a community where my son, where all our kids, can walk home without fear." Oh, the vision in those words. For 30 minutes, Isaiah spoke, not with rage but with a wisdom forged in unseen battles. He called for police accountability, real change, community oversight, training to root out bias. Yet he honored the good cops, the ones who serve with heart, and nodded to the town's real fears. "Grayson failed," he said, voice firm. "Not for suspecting something unusual, but for letting suspicion twist into prejudice, then persecution. We can do better, we must." The room exploded in applause. Can you hear it roar? Even skeptics nodded, swayed by this man, not the vengeful operative Grayson ranted about, but a citizen, a father, who'd served in shadows most couldn't fathom. Can you feel the shift? In the weeks that followed, Oak Ridge Heights transformed like a phoenix rising. Chief William stepped down, good riddance, replaced by a reform-driven captain from a nearby district, her eyes blazing with purpose. New training rolled out for every officer, community oversight board sprang up with real teeth, no more excuses. For Jalen King, life flipped upside down in the best way. Back at Oak Ridge High, he wasn't just that kid with the cool dad anymore, oh no. He was a beacon, his dignity in the face of Grayson's cuffs a quiet legend. Younger students, especially boys of color, trailed him like shadows, hungry for guidance. "I don't know what to say," Jalen confessed to Isaiah one evening, sprawled on the couch, his voice tinged with awe. Isaiah's smile was warm, proud. "That's the point, son.
No big speech, juste trousse.
Dignity's not taught in class, it's passed, generation to generation. Can you see that legacy?" Jalen nodded, feeling the weight of his father's words. "I'm carrying it now."
Maya Thompson?
Oh, she was a star. Her video of Jalen's arrest became a civics class staple nationwide, igniting debates on rights, policing and duty. Go Maya. Her sharp reporting snagged a national scholarship for young journalists. Can you believe it?
One day after school, she coaxed Jalen by the locker, her grain bright.
"I couldn't have done it without you," she said, eyes shining. "You gave me the guts to keep filming when I was terrified."
Jalen's shy smile broke through.
"Nah, you had that fire all along. You just needed a push." Oh, that bond. Their friendship deepened, a spark of something more flickering in their laughter. What's next for them?
Can you feel the hope?
Isaiah faced his own crossroads, huge ones. With his cover blown, his family exposed, the Pentagon dangled offers, new identities, new posts, a fresh start far from Oak Ridge Heights' prying eyes. Tempting, right? But Isaiah? Oh, he shocked everyone. He stayed, planting roots deeper by opening the King Self-Defense and Leadership Academy right in town. Not just a gym. It was a haven for kids of all backgrounds, teaching not just punches but mental steel, the discipline that defined Isaiah's life. Can you see those kids training? The waiting list exploded, everyone wanted in. Even more stunning? Folks who once side-eyed Jalen now signed up their kids. Mrs. Whitaker, the curtain twitcher, showed up with homemade cookies, tears streaming as she apologized for years of silent judgment. Can you feel her shame melting? Change comes slow, Isaiah told Angela, watching the academy thrive. But it comes. Oh, the beauty of that truth. Bradley Grayson, rotting in a psychiatric cell awaiting trial, caught news snippets of Isaiah, speaking, teaching, hailed as a hero. Can you imagine his regret? His warped quest to expose Isaiah had cost him everything: career, freedom, sanity. For what? To unmask a man whose honor Jalan had proclaimed all along. A soldier, a father, true to his word. Oh, the irony. In Oak Ridge Heights, the standoff scars sparked soul-searching. Finally, coffee shops and living rooms buzzed with raw talks on bias, privilege, justice. Can you hear those walls crumbling? The town wasn't perfect, but it was waking up, step by painful step. 2 months after the academy opened, Isaiah got a surprise visitor, James Wilson, the diner elder, his hands clutching a wooden box. "Found this in my attic," he said, setting it on Isaiah's desk. Inside, a 1968 newspaper, brittle but preserved, headlined, "Local Youth Breaks Color Barrier at Oak Ridge Academy." A photo showed James's brother, a young black man in a military uniform, lost in Vietnam, a hero. "First steps are brutal," James said, voice thick. "But they pave the way." Isaiah's nod was solemn. "We're walking it now. I'll display this," he promised. "Show the kids this fight's older than us." Can you feel that history? That night, over a family dinner, lasagna steaming, laughter warm, Jalan dropped a bombshell. "Mr. Peterson asked me to speak at graduation, about resilience, dignity." Angela's eyes sparkled. "My boy. What did you say?" "Yes." Jalan grinned. "Dad always says, real strength's quiet, knowing who you are when no one believes you." Isaiah's heart swelled. "That's my son." Jalan wasn't a kid anymore, but a young man forged in fire, his path lit by lessons hard won. Can you see his light? Isaiah's secure phone buzzed. A discreet glance showed a message. "If you need us, we're watching. Old allies, ever vigilant, family. All okay?" Angela asked, catching his look. "Just friends checking in," he said, pocketing it. The world he'd served in, shadows and light, kept spinning, but here with his family he was whole. Can you feel that balance? As dusk draped Oak Ridge Heights, Jalan stepped outside, basketball bouncing in the driveway. Same street, same houses, but oh, how it felt different. Mrs. Whitaker waved, her garden glowing with welcome. Mr. Peterson nodded, respect in his stride. Kids on bikes shouted, "Jalan." No glares, no whispers, just neighbors seeing each other, maybe for the first time. Can you sense that shift? Beyond the quiet streets, Isaiah's military network watched, not for danger, but love. They stood ready, shadows guarding light, a glimpse into a vast, unseen world most would never know. Can you imagine their vigil? What would you risk for those you love? How far would you go when the system betrays your family? Isaiah King showed his answer, unwavering, fierce, true. Jalan's courage, Angela's heart, Maya's fire, they lit a path for change. If their triumph stirs you, smash that like button and subscribe for more stories that roar. Comment, where you watching, and when did you stand for truth? Keep this fire blazing. Thank you, and here's to fighting fierce, loving deep, and shattering lies, starting now. Oh, the raw, heart-wrenching power of the King family's story in Oak Ridge Heights. It's a gut punch that leaves you trembling with awe and inspiration. Isaiah King, a shadow warrior turned beacon of justice, embodies a father's fierce love, standing unyielding against Grayson's vile prejudice. Can you feel that strength? Jalan's quiet courage, facing harassment with dignity at just 16, is a testament to the resilience born of family and truth. Angela's fiery resolve and Maya's fearless lens amplify their fight, proving that change sparks when hearts unite against injustice. The emotional weight of their triumph, transforming a biased town through wisdom, not vengeance, hits like a tidal wave, urging us to confront our own snap judgments. It's valuable because it's universal, a call to see beyond stereotypes, to fight for fairness, to pass down dignity. Isaiah's Academy, Jalan's leadership, the community's awakening, they're a lighthouse for hope, showing that even in darkness, love and truth can shift the world. This story isn't just theirs, it's ours, a mirror to our choices. How will we answer injustice? With courage, like the King's, I hope, because their legacy demands it.